you know, these big people like 50 Cent going bankrupt. Like, how can you even do that with that that amount of money? Like, how are you going to make that happen? What if you're going to keep living your lifestyle like that and your income gets pulled out? Well, that's going to happen eventually. So it's also a result of how you live, especially with those scammers, at least in
Oh,
my
most
eyes.
definitely. I think the wealthy are super corrupted in this aspect. Um, they get so used to their lifestyle, they don't want to give it up. Like your ego will not allow you to give it up, and like
And they
that's not
get
life.
entitled. They get entitled to their
Yeah,
situation.
exactly,
Maybe
man.
maybe they
Man.
should listen to Bob Marley a bit more. I love this line by Bob Marley. Like, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah, exactly, man. And he actually has some really cool things. I remember there's another interview of him where the person asked him like, "Are you rich?" And he just responded with like, "Rich in what? Rich in love? Yes." You know, and he was just like, "Never. Don't talk about money with me. It's not important." And it's not. It's just not. Like this is like kind of the irony of like thinking like this. If you think money is the most important thing in life, you're never going to get it. But if it's not important to you, you'll get it. I don't know. I mean, it works. It really does. Like you still have to like make other things that are important in life, like you know, your like you say, your finances. Like I talked about, you want to look at those. That's how you make more money. Is like detail out your finances, right? You can make more money by detailing out your finances by not actually increasing your income. What you're doing is just saving money now and what you used
Just
to
cutting
spend.
expenses. Yeah.
Exactly. Like there's all kinds of ways to do this, and so like, yeah,
And that was the something in the pandemic I was glad with. I wasn't spending anything. I wasn't going out with friends. Didn't go for drinks. Didn't go eating out. I was like, okay, this is one of the things I kind of like is me cutting my expenses in this
yeah, totally.
period.
Actually, same thing happened to me, dude. I think we should probably like write out a list of all the good things that happen because there's probably a whole lot.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, because
Instead
there's probably
of
a whole lot.
yeah, my cousin did that as a coaching technique, which was really cool. When somebody is really bitching about their work, for instance, like, oh, I hate it and I worked a lot and I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore. And you just say, okay, maybe you should just quit. If it sucks that badly, just quit your job and never come back. And it's like, oh. Then people are like, whoa, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, why not? Well, I have friends over there and I like this part of my job. And I'm like, oh, so you do actually like your job. So
Yeah,
it's just this perspective change. So like you're saying, make a list with everything that worked out for you this year or the things that made you happy or you're grateful for. I'm definitely going to do that and share it. We should do it together and share it on Instagram. That would be a dope idea.
totally agree. Totally agree. And
Like,
you
yes,
know,
started.
go ahead,
No,
man.
go ahead.
The main thing about like when you write out things that are good that are happening, you can hyper focus on them instead of like you said, gravitate towards the pessimistic side of your mind and be like, these things aren't working, that's not working. It's really easy to get negative there. Like hyper focus on the good stuff. That gives you energy.
Exactly. And we should do this with a poll or anything. Just ask it in the stories, like, what are you grateful for this year? So people are going to think about that and what you say, hyper focus on that instead of all the annoying bullshit that's happening this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like even if like everything went wrong and you feel like it did, there's still something good there. There's still something good. And even if it's only two things, focus on those. You could build on it. Trust me, that list will grow to four, to six, and it just keep getting bigger.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is, even though on the short term it may seem that you're basically fucked this year, maybe on the long term you're gonna look back and say that that's the most important thing that happened to me. I have an example: me being bullied in primary school. I was really being bullied. I was afraid to go to school every day, which sucks when you're 10 years old, right? That was probably the worst time of my life. But now looking back on it, I'm so happy that it went the way that it did. Because due to that, I discovered training. I discovered what the ego is. I discovered things in mindset. With training, I got into CrossFit and into work, and I opened up to a lot more. So maybe this may be true. If I didn't got bullied in primary school, maybe we would never have met because we are on the same page with mindset and music and training. So that's a possibility. Just imagine that. So instead of writing off things that are bad, maybe look on them and say, maybe it's good that they happen over a long period of time.
that's why the struggle is good, man. Because that was your struggle at 10 years old, was dealing with this bully and figuring out how to manage it. That's your struggle, right? And in the time, you didn't know. You had no clue what the lesson was, but you know now. 10 years later, 11 years later, it blossomed into this. That exact same thing happened to me. I got bullied like crazy through school to a point where I'm like, I'm turning this around. I'm done with this. I'm going to face my problem. And I did. And, you know, it really, really blossomed me into this person that I am today, and you as well. And that was all through struggle. That was all through hardship.
Exactly. So for the people that maybe are listening right now and struggling really hard in this pandemic, just be patient, and maybe next year you're going to look back and think like, this is the best thing that happened to me. I find out what's important. I find out what I want to do and how to, make money with something that I love instead of just being in there for the business or whatever, whatever your lesson is.
Yeah, if it's so beyond hopeless for you right now, or at least you feel that way, and you feel like this is like, you're just never going to get out of this, trust me, something good is on the other end. It's coming. You're really close.
Exactly. And if you are in the darkest, most lowest spot in your life, remember, if you're on your lower spot, there is no lower than that. The only way after that is up. So
yeah, I
try to
love
remember
that.
that as well.
Yep, I love that mindset, because that's how I always think. I'm like, handstands, for example. Like, I'm like, this is going to be my worst day today. I'm going to be better tomorrow. So I put this in my
Exactly.
head all the time. I'm always like, I'm just going to get a little better tomorrow.